Beautiful day. What a beautiful performance that was. Oh man, she just really lit up the whole morning, and what a tough act to follow. I'm glad there was a little bit of circus to clear everybody's palate. My name's Matt Sircely. I live just about 40 miles away as a crow flies. It took me all day to get here yesterday. And I live in the country, and I've been just in the country during the whole pandemic. I don't know about you. Has anybody here just been isolated kind of up until now? Like, anybody feel that? Yeah, you feel that way? Totally. I mean, I really feel like that. I can't believe I'm here with everybody and some of my favorite people. And so I'm going to bring a bunch of the stuff that I wrote during the pandemic. And this one is a song that, as he mentioned, I wrote about kind of the crazy neighbor. And this neighbor doesn't really know anything about conspiracy. I mean, the character in the song doesn't know anything about conspiracy theories, but he's got this neighbor. He keeps talking stuff over the fence, and he's trying to figure out what's going on with this guy. So it's called The Cue for Quarantine Blues. I've got the cue for quarantine blues. Landlord says I gotta pay what's due, and all of my work is falling through. I got the cue for quarantine blues. I ramble all around, from the garden to the barn, and back to the garden once again. I'm moving rocks and hay, but I just can't find a way to get these blues out of my head. Got the cue for quarantine blues. Everybody is lonesome and confused. My neighbors, they're running out of food. I got the cue for quarantine blues. I hear him over the fence. My neighbor makes no sense. He follows a hashtag mile long, and it says that you know who's gonna tell him what to do when the highway marauders come to town. Got the cue for quarantine blues. My neighbor got a text from you know who, and he just detonated something huge. I got the cue for quarantine blues, and it spreads like the contagion, weaponized disinformation. I'm praying for our nation. I got the cue for quarantine blues. Got the cue for quarantine blues. They're selling me on medicines to use, and the man says we got nothing left to lose. I got the cue for quarantine blues. Got the cue for quarantine blues. Thank you. That's just, living in the country, gosh, you can kind of, it's like you can follow the news cycle by how much ammunition you hear fired off by the neighbors. Especially when the people come out from the city on the weekends, that's what I found. This is a song also about the country. This is, and the city. This is a song that I wrote a long time ago. And it came back into my mind during the pandemic because of the whole voting rights discussion, and discussion of Jim Crow 2.0, which is basically what this song was written about. So it follows a character who grew up in the South in the early part of the last century, and it follows this character all the way through the civil rights struggle to voting in Ohio. And so the first verse is the bread line, and the second verse is the bank line. And the third verse is the police line, etc. It's called the back of the line. And the last verse is the voting line. So I'll dedicate this to Senator Manchin. It's called The Back of the Line. Let me get the capo sorted. I recorded this and sent it to my favorite talk radio show out of LA. And he put it on the radio all over the country. So, hey, musicians, send your stuff to talk radio, because sometimes they play music if they like the words. Sweet, sweet baby, swaddled in her mother's arm, never knew wickedness, never knew harm. Winding down the sidewalk in the fall of 29, never saw the tears swelling in her mother's eyes when they sent her to the back of the line. Get in line, stand in line, there's plenty of bread at the back of the line. Get in line, stand in line, there's plenty of bread at the back of the line. There's plenty of bread at the back of the line. Well, some folks take whatever they can get, while others grow up feeling people breathing down the neck. Some will dig their furrows down deeper head to death, while others drive their caddies into town and cash their checks. You can stand in line, in line, stand in line. There's plenty of room at the back of the line. Get in line, stand in line. There's plenty of bread at the back of the line. There's plenty of room at the back of the line. She was on the streets of Selma in the spring of '65. And a friend said she was lucky just to make it out alive. Standing on the bridge is where she learned the sound of the nightsticks falling and the tear gas coming down way all along the line. Get in line, stand in line, there's plenty of room at the back of the line. Get in line, stand in line, there's plenty of room at the back of the line. Plenty of room at the back of the line. Well, some things come in cycles, and some things never change. And some folks say they're different when they're really just the same. And when the waters rise, well, you know who's left behind. It's hard to run for shelter when you haven't got a dime, staring down at a police line. Cuyahoga County in November of '04, standing in the rain for 7 hours more. When she finally reached the table, rain dripping from her hair, oh, the man said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, your precinct's over there, but you can stand in line. Get in line, stand in line, there's plenty of room at the back of the line. Get in line, stand in line, there's plenty of room at the back of the line. Plenty of room at the back of the line. There's plenty of room at the back of the line. Plenty of room at the back of the line." Thank you. I'd like to do a piece that I wrote in 2019. And I started working on it. I got all these songs that are kind of like written about the Capitol insurrection, but like I wrote them all before it happened, you know? So I got this thing where it's just like, I wrote a bunch of songs about the warning signs, you could say. So this is one of those songs. It's like dedicated to young people, like all the young people that we think are great, have all these good morals and stuff, and they're really nice to each other, you know. It's dedicated to everybody kind of keeps everything together by being good people, and it's the title of it is You Know What's Right. It's like, you know, the pleasant side of anti-fascist songwriting, you know. That's it. 1, 2, 3. This is a new instrument I got maybe like a year ago. It's made out of a fence post from Port Townsend. So you can see it's got a nail hole on the top of it. This is called You Know What's Right. Different weather up here, eh? You know what's right. Don't you ever let them try to tell you otherwise. With a hasty gait and shifty eye, you know what's right. Don't you ever let them try to take it all away, leaving behind everything that's left to say. It's good enough to hold the love, 'cause hearts are ever mending, tending to the wisdom of the messages they're sending. If they want to fight, don't you let them try to tell you what to do. If they want to fight, you know what's right. Try to sell your mediocrity. Believe in your own memory. You know what's great. It's good enough to hold the love. Hearts are ever mending, tending to the wisdom of the messages they're sending. If they want to fight, don't you let them try to rewrite history. Believe in your own memory. You know what's right. Thank you. Really? Great. Perfect time to check. Say where it's been. Jimmy come around on a pearly white horse, no, listen to the chilly wind. Jimmy come around on a pearly white horse, yet he was king. Bragging about all the liquor and his horse, no, listen to the chilly wind. He was just a little boy, old enough to see. He's gotta drive the Indians out of the De La War Valley. Now he just rides around like he owns a town. Somewhere deep and down, he's scared to put a foot down. Yeah, Billy come around in his little red Porsche, spinning the wheels all around. He's got boys a-drilling up north and Maquiladora down south. Listen to how they've been talking so big about the dollar in his hand. He ain't nothing but a skeeter in a wig and a sucking off from the weird land. On the mountainside, and all the clouds going past, and the farmers standing with the dust in their hands, and wondering when's it gonna rain at last. Old man Billy up is sitting on the bluff, watching his big wheel grind. Big wheel spinning, going round and around, hill to gone when the water rises. And he was just a little boy, old enough to see his daddy's dirty war all upon the TV. Saying, can you feel the weather change? I wrote that song about 20 years ago. About now. I've got just one more song, maybe. Maybe two. How about some mandolin? You got time for two. All right, cool. This is according to my schedule, you do? Yeah? Yeah. Well, let me do this one. Okay. I'm going to do one more on this one. I got time for two more songs. This song is about getting to the root of the problem. You know, if you're out in the garden and you find a bramble, like if you find a thorn and the root goes down, if you don't get that out, you're not going to be able to get to the root of the problem, so to speak. So when you look for it, pretty often you find there's a rock holding it in place. So if you want to get the root, you got to find the rock, generally, if that's the case. Many times I plant a seed, I wish for it to have its every need. Soil and rain, and the sun and moon to guide its way. If there's a bramble down below, I know the seed will hardly grow. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. Everyone knows a criminal will change his clothes, burrow way down low, where the sun will hardly go. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. Day. All the gospel say the guilty they will someday pay. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root, you want to find the rock. If you want to get the root. Find the rock if you want to get the root. You want to find the rock if you want to get the root. You want to find the rock if you want to All right, let's end with a mandolin, huh? I'd like to do a gospel song. This is a gospel song that I wrote, which is kind of dedicated to all religions, like kind of everybody. It's like a gospel song for everybody, because gospel translates to book, right? Book. Other translations for gospel include Sharia, as a translation for gospel. So this is a, just trying to think of various, everybody, trying to think of everybody in some way. So it's a gospel song for that. It's called Don't Preach Against the Gospel, no matter where it's from or what kind. Well, have you heard the clamor of the horrid, vengeful horde with wicked plans to tear us all apart? It's a long-lived fool who forgets the golden rule and preaches against the gospel from the start. Don't preach against the gospel, no matter where it's from or what kind. Don't preach against the gospel, special kind of love for humankind. Well, some folks put symbols on the jewelry that they wear, and others like to cover up their heads. And different people grow all different kinds of hair and bake all different kinds of bread. Don't preach against the gospel, whether the bread is flat or tall, flat or tall. Don't preach against the gospel. Don't say that one's a master of them all. Well, some folks like to sit in silence every day and drink from an infinite fountain, while others like to dance around a sacred fire at the base of a high holy mountain. Don't preach against the gospel, no matter what it says about certain kinds of meat. Don't preach against the gospel, whether it says to wash your hands or feet. Well, some folks like to clap and dance and sing in church, and other folks will barely move their lips. Whenever someone says that another prays in error, I tell you folks, they're bound to lose their grip. Don't preach against the gospel, even if it turns water into wine. Don't preach against the gospel when it says the earth is sacred and divine. Don't preach against the gospel, no matter where it's from or what kind. Don't preach against the gospel, special kind of love for humankind. Thank you. Have a great everybody.